What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Patrick Huffman here, and we're gonna start something new tonight on this channel. We are going to do, or start doing, a top 10 countdown. There's gonna be one up every week, and I'm gonna be your lovely host. So, without further ado, let's get started. So my favorite game on the GameCube is a third-party game that's also a trademarked game. Not a lot of those are actually good, and yet when one of them is really good to the point where it's my favorite, that means a lot. It means it's good. And SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom definitely fits on my favorite platformers list. And here we are talking about the final boss, Robot SpongeBob.
Look at that guy, with that big square head and those short shorts. That's the most hideous thing I've ever seen!
Wait, that hideous thing looks like
The
me!
whole build-up to this game is, or the whole build-up to this boss is just fantastic. You have the first major robot fight in the game being Robot Sandy, then the next one being Robot Patrick, so of course by this point you already knew it was going to be Robot SpongeBob. Robot SpongeBob is unique. He's the toughest boss in the game by far, and if anything, he is definitely rage-worthy. The first part of the first phase of the fight is just you hitting his weak points with the bubble missiles. But as the fight goes on, it gets a lot harder as he starts knocking off platforms from underneath you and starts shouting karate or karate, turns them into solid words and shoots them at you. That's the easiest part of the fight. As the second part of the fight has you going inside SpongeBob, or I'm sorry, not SpongeBob, but Robot SpongeBob, and having you fight this guy from the inside. All the while, Robot Plankton is shooting at you while sending out robots that you fought throughout the game at this guy. And what you have to do is you have to hit buttons that will deactivate his core. And you have to do that by using abilities that you've learned throughout the game. That's actually kind of cool. But whenever you die, you get sent back to the very beginning of the second phase. Which is why it's number 10. Because you don't know how many times I freaking died. Makes you cry.
Unknown vessel approaching at high speed.
Another enemy? Hold it! That silhouette! Is that the General
Now,
Slice?
one overlooked game on the GameCube that I hear a lot of people have mixed opinions about is Star Fox Assault. People say that it's good, it's definitely what this franchise needed, but at the same time people are saying it sucked because the land portions took the fun out of it. It did get a little lengthy, but it was cool. The best example I can think of is when you go to Corneria. After going to Dinosaur Planet, or Saria, they actually gave it a name in this game, you learn that Corneria was attacked and Saria was just a distraction from the Star Fox team. So you go to Corneria and find out that it's just all destroyed. And it is an entire land level where you snipe radar jammers. And you can't get in your R-Wing until Peppy can send you an R-Wing on one of the buildings. So when you get on it, or when you get to the R-Wing, you get surrounded by Aperoids, and Wolf will fly in on the Wolfen, destroy the Aperoids and your R-Wing, and you jump on the Wolfen. And you get one of those awesome flying cannon sections where you take that freaking plasma cannon on your shoulder and you just start shooting Aperoids. It's the best. Anyways, the boss of this place is General Pepper. In the briefing leading up to this level, General Pepper says that that something's going on and he can't help it, or something's going on and it's bad. General Pepper and his flagship were infected by the Aperoids. So this fight has a lot of emotions going into it. You're fighting your boss. It's basically just how adrenaline pumping and how awesome the fight is. You're fighting on the... Okay, how many times can you say this in the Star Fox franchise? I fought General Pepper inside of his flagship while standing on the Wolfen while shooting a freaking plasma cannon. When can you say that? Ever? No? Thought so. Just watch this. I'm not even gonna explain this one. The Great Mighty Poo is on here just because of context. He's funny. I'm only putting him on here because of that. Just watch.
Me. I am the Great Mighty Poo, and I am going to throw my at you. A huge supply of teeth comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little
You know, Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS was a good game. People say that that they can beat it in one sitting. I mean, I've done it before. I beat it in one day. And the boss battles sucked. Like, honestly. Who can say that the boss battles in the game were good? It was just rehash after rehash after rehash with the same bosses. The Bowser fights weren't fun in the game. That is, until the very end, when everything you've learned throughout the game is thrown at you. After you defeat Bowser in what seems like a very lackluster ending, they decide to throw you down at the bottom of this tower, and you have to jump your way up. All the while, Bowser's chasing you and shooting you with fireballs while destroying the platforms underneath you. I honestly can't say enough good about this fight because it's been praised about a lot and is universally one of the best Bowser battles in the series. It shows and reflects on what you've learned throughout the game, and I like that for it. Number 6, the Kirby franchise. What can I say about it that hasn't already been said? It's cute, it's colorful, and yet some of the bosses are pretty badass. I mean, just look at Magalar and Magalar Soul. Look at Marks. Look at the Masked DDD. The Masked DDD just missed this spot by a hair. But that's only because I prefer this boss compared to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Galactonite. Yeah. You know you've got a badass boss fight coming up against you when the first time you see him, you're fighting him as Meta Knight. This can only be described as a badass doppelganger fight. Seriously, it's basically the opposite of Galactonite. Meta Knight uses one sword. Galactonite uses a freaking lance and a shield. Meta Knight has a minus slash on his face. Galactonite has both. It's literally just Galactonite is just contrasted. He's the complete opposite of Meta Knight, and that's just awesome. The steam going against him is awesome. The adrenaline you get when fighting this guy is awesome. Fighting him as Meta Knight is kind of easy. Fighting him as Kirby, you might as well just throw yourself in the just throw yourself away like, I'm done. Because in the DS port of Kirby Superstar Ultra, Meta Knight, when fighting him in Meta Nightmare Ultra, he's easy. But Kirby, he's hard. It's hard. And let's not forget that that same boss fight was remade to be even harder in the true arena in Kirby's Return to Dreamland. You've been watching both of these fights as it is. They're hard. They're legitimately hard. I can't say enough about this boss. I just love it. I love it. Sonic 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say how much I despise this game. I went back to play it a few days ago. It crushed me. Like before playing it, like I was playing it normally and I somehow got through the glitches. But when I took the time to actually go through the shortcuts they had me doing, there's a loop-de-loop in the first level. I stood upside down. The game broke me then. But there's only a few good things that can come from this game. One, Silver getting kicked in the back of the head by Shadow. Insert clip here. The soundtrack, which was amazing. The graphics, sort of, eh. The story's convoluted. Gameplay sucks for everyone. But the one good thing, the best thing that can come out of this game is the final boss fight. You know you did something at least a little bit right when the final, or you know you did something wrong, I guess, when the final boss is better than everything else in this game. Solaris is by far one of the best, or is my favorite boss fight in the Sonic franchise for a few reasons. It gives me so many emotions. It's like what Josh Scorcher said about the theme. It makes him feel happy. It makes both of us happy that such a bad boss can come, or such a good, fantastic final boss can come from a shitty game. It makes me sad and disappointed that this boss fight was wasted on a bad game, and it makes me angry that Sega didn't do this for any other bosses in the game. Now let's delve into the gameplay a bit here, because this is where it shines. Sonic's ability in this fight is to charge up and just ram into Solaris. Silver he uses his telekinesis as a shield, and what he does is when Solaris shoots stuff at Silver, Silver catches it and flings it right back at him. Shadow shoots Chaos Spears at him, and you can charge all the Chaos Spear up to get better damage. And after a while, Solaris will become immune to one character, so you have to switch to the other. That's how this. I wish the rest of the game would have had this much thought and creativity put into it, but no. It sucked. Solaris, good. Sonic 06, bad. The first Pokemon game I really played was Pokemon Platinum. So, that was my introduction to the series, and ever since then I've been a Pokemon fan ever since. So when Gen 5 came around the corner and I got Black and White, I'm sitting here saying, wow, like, this is when I was actually, like, starting to, like, pick up the starting to mature a bit. And I was actually realizing that the plot in Pokemon Black and White was pretty deep. So if you don't know, Team Plasma is basically this, the evil organization in this game. And they're trying to free Pokemon. They're trying to liberate Pokemon from their Pokeballs, because it's implied that when a Pokemon is thrown into their Pokeballs, they are hypnotized and they are just kind of brainwashed. And no character drives home that they want to help out Pokemon better than N. Can I just say how tough N is? I'm pretty sure, actually, yeah, N is the only normal trainer ever, or the only normal team organization sort of leader, I guess, that has a freaking legendary. He can have either Zekrom or Reshiram, depending on the game you're playing. And his team's extremely hard. Of course, and I just love the fact that N is actually believing in fighting for freedom of Pokemon. N makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. But, of course, they throw that all away when Guesses comes in. He's all like, nope, I was using you for world domination, and you're a failure. And then in Black and White 2, his team actually varies depending on seasons when you fight him. And that adds so much a strategy to the fight, like what typing you have. Like when you're fighting him in the winter, he uses ice types. Summer, fire. Spring, grass. It all depends, and I love it. I'm pretty sure everyone loves this game, and I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Metroid Prime, Meta Ridley. What can I say about Meta Ridley that hasn't already been said? I don't know. I mean, just look at this thing. Just look right down there. Just look at that. Wherever it is, look at it. Just look at it. That is what a freaking cybernetic dragon looks like. Duh. But did you know that's what a badass cybernetic dragon looks like? No. Now you do. But in any case, Meta Ridley is the best Metroid boss, at least in my eyes, and I'm pretty sure that's what everyone else says. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ridley, for some strange reason, Ridley is the basically the rival to Samus, I guess. Or he is basically the rival to Samus. He killed Samus's parents, and they bring him back in every single game as a robot, as a alien life form trying to recreate him, as a cybernetic dragon, as we're seeing here. They bring him back in almost every Metroid game. And this game is, and in Metroid Prime, they hammer home how awesome the fight is. It's like in the first phase of the fight is just you shooting him in the air with his weak spot exposed. But then the second fight unfolds, and excuse me, sorry, I just burped a little. After second phase unfolds as his wings are gone, and he's covering up his core now. You now have to find a way to bust open that chest so you can start firing into his core. Can I just say how badass you feel when fighting him? Like, seriously, it's Space Bounty Hunter versus Cybernetic Dragon. Can I get that as an actual game, please? I just want it. You know, I was contemplating on whether putting this. I was contemplating on whether to put this with on the number 3 spot or not. But honestly, this is a little bit more badass, and there's a lot of symbolism to this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mega Man X5 semi-final boss fight, X versus 0. Just listen to this theme and watch the clip of the fight below here. It's amazing, wherever it is. My face cam's kind of reversed, so I have no idea where it's going. It's awesome, ain't it? Basically, the concept of the fight is that each of them are fighting for something that they believe in. 0 is fighting X because when you're going in as 0, X comes in with a few lifesavers, and X believes that 0 has gone Maverick because he can touch this 0 virus and not get hurt from it. And that's a very good concept because that's true. Everyone else that's getting affected by this is turning into a Maverick. So it's only natural to think that. And then when you go in as 0, he thinks that this should be his fight alone because he's the only one that can deal with this, and that's when X starts to realize this. The symbolism in this fight is just amazing. It's two best friends that have been fighting alongside each other for years now, are now duking it out for what they believe in. If that's not badass and symbolic, then I really don't know what is. Can I just say that the fact that the capsules that they will release from are in the background? That's symbolism. You know what? My favorite game on the Wii, PlayStation 2, Okami. I'm a sucker for mythology. I'm a sucker for cel-shaded graphics or unique graphics in a game. I'm down with unique gameplay. I'm down with great story. And I'm down with okay boss battles. But what boss in this game is the best? Well, I've already shown off that there can be some final boss battles. So, how do you make the best boss battle in any video games, or that is my favorite? How do you make my favorite boss battle come after such a padded final area? Seriously, the Arc of Yamato, really? Just look at this thing. This is basically just one big boss gauntlet. What is it with Capcom boss gauntlets? I don't know. I hate it. But seriously, the boss that comes after this, which is the final boss of the game, is Lord Yami. By the way, Yami in Japanese is translated evil and darkness and shit. Yeah, I just blew your fucking mind. But in all seriousness, Yami is such a symbolic and badass fight. When you first start out fighting this guy, you start out with 0 of your brush techniques. Everything you have is gone. The premise of the fight is you kicking the ever-living shit out of him to where he releases the paint techniques back into you, and gives them back to you. And each phase of this fight is unique, and I mean very unique. Like, it's so symbolic that it's actually insane. Like, the first phase is mankind's will to destroy. The second phase is mankind's, I forget which one it was. It's either mankind's will to destroy using elements, or mankind's way to harm using animals. I think it's the first of the two, but I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong on both those two. The third phase is mankind's will to gamble away everything. The fourth phase is mankind's way to use robotics and technology to destroy, and the fifth one is mankind's will to use their bare hands to destroy. If none of that is symbolic at all, I don't know what is. Yami represents everything that is evil. This is literally light versus darkness, evil versus good. And after the fourth phase of the fight, your character, Amaterasu, she gets a little sad because she realizes she won, but her best friend, the little bug thing, Isun, that you're seeing right here, isn't there, and she's hallucinating, thinking, hey, this is probably what he'd be saying if he was with me, so she lets out a little victory howl. But then Yami completely annihilates Amaterasu and destroys the brush gods, all of them. She's down to basically back to her white wolf form. But then the entire fight, Isun has been preaching to everyone, basically, saying that white wolf that everyone's been seeing is Amaterasu. Because people who don't believe in the gods only see the gods when they're in physical form. They only see the gods as a white form. They saw Amaterasu as a white wolf, and now they're realizing, oh, shit, that was the sun god. Whoops. I done fucked up. And with all the prayers that she's getting, she refers back to her first form from 100 years ago, Shiranui, and kicks that gigantic Yami hand right in the ass. The song that plays here, I think is called Sun's Rising or something like that. It has got to be one of the best final boss themes in a video game. I highly suggest listening to this. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching this episode, or this top 10 list. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. And if you have a different top 10 of your favorite boss battles, then leave it in the comment section below or wherever it is in the future, because I know YouTube likes fucking changing it everywhere. Because I know on mobile devices it's like to the right. I told you my face cam's like freaking reversed, so I don't know which one's like. Like, it likes to keep it to the right, sometimes likes to keep it below. I really don't know by this point. And on computers it's down below. But wherever it is, leave your comment, or leave what you think are the top 10 best boss battles in the comment section. And if you like more, then subscribe to the Gamer Guys. We've got a bunch of stuff going on. We've got Nuzlocks, we've got a bunch of walkthroughs coming through in the future. I'm Patrick Huffman, and stay tuned for the next top 10 list. See you guys then.